what is up, everybody? Yes, I've returned to your phone, your computer, your TV, your tablet, your laptop. I don't know what you're watching me on right now, but welcome back. It's me, it's Malcolm, and today we're doing this in one take because one, really don't feel like editing that much today, except for putting some pictures up here and there in the video, and two, I felt like this type of video was going to be quick and easy and just something interesting to look at. So pretty much just getting into it. This was inspired by Peter Mon. I think a couple days ago, he made a video about people that are still following James Charles, and he really went hard for Raw Beauty Christie. So I kind of took that idea a little bit and turned it into, you know, let's just see who's following both Collen Ballinger and James Charles to see what platforms they're following them on. And I also kind of gave a rating from 1 to 10 on how surprising their endorsement following is. If it's like a 1, it's kind of like, I'm not really that surprised. If it's like a 10, that means I didn't expect that, or like it's really shocking. Or I saw something where they were like outwardly supporting either person. This list is not going to be like accurate in terms of like rating. That's just kind of like, you know, for haha hee-hees. But in all seriousness, I was curious to see, after all the stuff has come out between both Collen Ballinger and James Charles, like who is still following them, who's still supporting them, who is supporting them out loud, which is a big deal in my opinion. So I also wanted to see like people that I wasn't following. Like I do have Shane Dawson on this list. I think he's first on my list, which he is. Just kind of seeing, you know, from the huge drama back in the day, who's still following who. Because I just think that's interesting. So without further ado, let's just get into it. I'm looking at my Microsoft Word document right now, and the first person I have is Shane Dawson. And how I did this was I went to Instagram, I went to Twitter, and then I went to TikTok, and I wanted to see if they were following either Collen or James on any of those platforms. And I wrote yes if they did, and I wrote no if they didn't. I did write some notes about some things. I think Loey is also on my list because she commented on James Charles' Paint It launch, basically like giving him full support. But we'll get to that eventually. So I basically went to all 3 platforms, wanted to see, are they following them? And I said yes or no. So I do have Shane Dawson as first. He is following both James Charles and Collen Ballinger still on Instagram. He's following them both on Twitter, but he is not following them on TikTok. So I gave this rating like a 1 out of 10 because honestly, not that surprising that you know, Shane Dawson has pretty much done similar things to both James and Collen when it comes to engaging with underage people. So it's not really that shocking that he follows them both on more than one platform. And then next on my list, I have Joey Graceffa, which I am not really a Joey Graceffa fan. I think he's kind of boring. Not my cup of tea. But I did see he followed James on Instagram. However, when it comes to Collen Ballinger, he recently unfollowed her. And this was like months after the, what do you want to call, I want to say the buildup, but more so the peak of the Collen Ballinger allegations. He was still following her back then. Only recently, I want to say like up until like a week ago, he just unfollowed her on Instagram, which, you know, like get your brownie points, I guess, but like you benefited off of Collen Ballinger, Joey, so had nothing to say about any of the allegations at all on either side. I just think that's a little telling. He does not follow Collen on Twitter. He doesn't follow James Charles on Twitter either. However, I did find this a little bit weird, and this happens for more than one person on my list. I couldn't see his TikTok follows because he privatized it. So I didn't know this was a thing you could do on TikTok because like who really cares? Like if you have to hide it, that just means it just seems kind of fishy to me a little bit. So for the rating for Joey, I gave it a -5 out of 10. I mean, Collen Ballinger, one of Collen Ballinger's best friends. I mean, we can't forget Escape the Night, and I will say, him and Daniel Prada went so hard on Gabby Hanna because Gabby Hanna was very like doing way too much on set, which I agree she was doing a little much. But just not having the same energy for something I would say more serious, which is what Colleen did with these group chats and with these underage people, sending nudes, sending Trisha Paytas nudes and OnlyFans and like mocking her. Who knows? Maybe Joey was in those groups. That's why he's probably not speaking out, because he participated in that. I mean, we can only speculate because he won't speak up about it. So I gave him a -5 out of 10 because, I mean, like, not really that surprising. Next on my list, I have Liza Koshy. Now, this really surprised me because she follows both James Charles and Collen Ballinger on Instagram. She follows them both. She follows Collen on Twitter, but not James Charles. But she doesn't follow either of them on TikTok. And I had to give this an 8 because it feels like the LA influencers, especially, like, they all are like talking. Probably not as much anymore, but 2 years ago, especially with the James Charles allegations coming out, there's no way they didn't talk, And maybe she didn't notice the Collen Ballinger stuff, but I highly doubt that. I just think that's not a good look, to be honest. A little bit disappointing. That's why I rated it so high. I gave it like an 8 out of 10 because when I saw her name pop up, I was kind of shocked. I was like, wow. Okay, Liza Koshy. Okay. Miss Double Dare host. Okay. That was interesting. The next person on my list, we have Lord DIY. And if you have never heard of Lord DIY, I wouldn't be surprised. She's kind of like on the other side of YouTube with like the Merrill twins and like the other like longtime content creators on YouTube. But she still follows James Charles on Instagram, doesn't follow Collen Ballinger on Instagram, follows his Twitter, but not Colleen's Twitter. But she doesn't follow TikTok for either. I just find it really interesting that even after all this stuff that came out about James Charles, like, she's still actively following him on 2 platforms. Again, I give this like a 4 out of 10 because, one, Lord DIY really isn't in that, or what it seems like, she's not really in that friend group of the influencers on the West Side. But I will say I'm still a little bit surprised that she still follows James Charles, at least. So that's why I give it a 4 out of 10, because it's like, I am surprised, but also I'm not surprised because she's not really in that circle. And then next I have Snitchery. And if you have never seen Snitchery online, she does a lot of cosplay videos, a lot of cosplay transitions. She's really dope at it, actually. Definitely supports James Charles on both Instagram and Twitter. Her TikTok follows are privatized, so I couldn't like verify if she follows either Colleen or James Charles. But from what I can tell, she probably doesn't know who Collen Ballinger is, but she definitely knows who James Charles is. And I think Snitchery and Loey, who's next on my list, I think they're around the same age. So them being best friends, them being on the West Side, I'm pretty sure they probably talked once or twice about these allegations about James Charles. Can I prove it? No. I just think it's interesting that, again, all this stuff came out. That news article came out talking about James Charles wanting to be uncanceled. I just find that, like, okay, because when we get to Loey Lane, follows James Charles on Instagram, not Colleen on Instagram, doesn't follow either of them on Twitter, but I did check Loey's TikTok, and she does follow James Charles on TikTok. And not only that, she also commented on James Charles' painted release, pretty much giving him like full support. And I think I showed the screenshot right here where she's basically like giving him full support back in April. And like, there's like one reply, which is one of her fans saying, oh girl, why are you supporting James Charles out of all people? So it was more surprising to me to see that Loey was supporting him, because for someone that covers like true crime and things like that, I'm just more so surprised. So that's why I rated it so high. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Again, it's just kind of disappointing to see some of these people after everything that's come out about like Collen Ballinger or James Charles, that, you know, they either stuck around. Like, unfollowing somebody, to me, it takes like 5 seconds. If somebody says, hey, you're following so-and-so, like, do you remember all the stuff they did, blah, blah, blah. I feel like it'd be really easy to be like, oh yeah, I totally forgot I was following this person. Like, you could even like make it up, like, at this point. Just be like, oh, I forgot I was following him, and then just unfollow him and just, I don't know, moving on about your day. But, like, you can't tell me that, you know, people weren't bringing this up to either of them. Like, because one, they're best friends, so they've probably been talking back behind the scenes a lot. It's just really disappointing to me, honestly. Next, and this is someone I wasn't expecting on, and let's just make it clear. This is Savannah Moss. If you do not know Savannah Moss, insanely amazing TikTok creator, probably one of the best transition video people I've ever seen on TikTok itself. She only follows James Charles on Instagram, and I know she's a bit younger than James by like maybe a year, so maybe she doesn't know, but still, I don't know. I gave it a 3 out of 10 because it's like, it's still not a good look. Now, I haven't noticed that she liked any post of his or like commented on any of his posts, but again, like, I'm sure like one person, like one comment was like, hey, why are you supporting James Charles? Like, there's no way that she doesn't know, right? So that's why I had to rate it like, it's low, but not that low. And now this person, I gave them a 7 out of 10, and that is Alicia Marie. And Alicia Marie, another Cali, I want to say the Cali YouTuber, because that's pretty much where a lot of YouTubers are from. I know some of them moved, but there's still a lot in the LA area, California area, for my knowledge. But Alicia Marie, definitely a big supporter of James Charles, follows Collen Ballinger on Twitter, follows James Charles on Instagram. But she doesn't follow him on TikTok, even though James Charles, for his painted palette, whatever you want to call it, had a promo video, a PR video, and Alicia was in the video, like fully like hugging him, like being like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, so definitely she is supporting James Charles, definitely fully supporting him, in my opinion. Like, if you're accepting PR package, if you're letting yourself be in a video with James Charles, and you're in, especially in the LA, Hollywood area, the Cali area, like, there's no way you don't know about the James Charles stuff. So that's why I had to give it a 7 out of 10, because like, I don't really watch her content that much. So if this is not surprising, let me know in the comments below if you do watch her. But to me, it seems like, you know, it's very surprising to me. My cat's here. He wanted to say hello. Want to say hello? Want to say hello? No? You just want to sit there? Okay. All right. Next, this is someone I was not expecting at all, and I don't know, maybe because like the two realms, the two sides of YouTube just never click. I have MrBeast, and I was kind of surprised when I saw this because he follows James Charles on Instagram, on Twitter, but not TikTok. And I don't think he knows who Collen Ballinger is, because he doesn't follow her on either, and he just doesn't seem like that's like his type of humor or whatever. So I have never seen them interact, but because, you know, MrBeast has so many followers everywhere, it was more so like surprising. So give it like a 2 out of 10, because maybe he just followed him because he likes following content creators. But you know, at this, it is getting to the point in I guess the public eye where you have to watch who you follow, you have to vex who you follow, because people will kind of pay attention. I didn't put her on the list, but the NPC girl, I think her name is Pinky Doll. She did some TikToks with James Charles, and I'm just kind of like, I kind of cringed a little bit because I'm like, if only she knew. Especially with the microaggressive attitude James Charles has shown towards Black women, especially. I don't know. I just feel like if she knew about all that stuff, she would never do a video with him. But who knows? Maybe she knows all that stuff, and maybe she can look past that. I don't know. I don't know. Next, I have Morgan Adams. Now, let me just preface this. For Morgan Adams' Twitter, she hasn't really used it since 2020, and like the last liked post she's ever had was 2021. So her Twitter is not that active, but she does follow James Charles and Colleen on Twitter. But who knows? Maybe she hasn't used it in a couple of years. She does follow Collen Ballinger on TikTok, however, and this is why I rated it a 6 out of 10, because the last TikTok Morgan posted was back in February of this year, and I don't know, Twitter is one thing, but TikTok, everybody uses TikTok, even if like you're not even thinking about it. Like I look on TikTok every day, so there's no way that, you know, Morgan doesn't know about the Collen Ballinger allegations, because I think the last TikTok Collen Ballinger posted was of Trisha Paytas and her dancing. So Collen Ballinger has been posting recent content, so we can use like what is it, context clues, or is it we can use circumstances to kind of say like, you know, she definitely knows or somewhat knows what's going on, because one, Shane Dawson probably has talked to her about it, like, let's be real, and two, again, TikTok is one of those apps that you could just use every day without even thinking about it. And you can't tell me that she hasn't seen at least one TikTok about the allegations of Collen Ballinger. So that's why I had to give it a 6. And my cat is just looking at me, very confused. Don't bite the cord. Oh, he's gonna sniff the wall. Okay. I think I have a few names left. I have 4 people left. Like, this video is not gonna be that long, guys. It was just something I just wanted to look at and just kind of, you know, kind of side-eye a little bit. There was definitely a lot more people, but I just wanted to cap the list because I think my point is being made that, you know, some people either don't know or they just don't care. I'm gonna go with some people just don't care. Just gonna keep it real. The next person I have is Alyssa Violet. Now, I haven't seen Alyssa Violet since she was on Team 10 and that whole docuseries with Shane Dawson and Jake Paul. I haven't seen her since then. But she still follows James Charles on Instagram, doesn't follow Collen Ballinger. I don't think she knows, again, a person that probably doesn't know who Collen Ballinger is, because she doesn't follow Collen on either Twitter or Instagram, but she does follow James Charles on Twitter and Instagram. She's another person that had her TikTok follows hidden, so I couldn't determine if she's following James Charles there, but I would say, you know, circumstances are showing me that she probably does. But Alyssa has also been involved with problematic people before, so this kind of doesn't like surprise me. So that's why I kind of gave it like a 2 out of 10. It's like, oh, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense. The next person on my list, and this is someone I've kind of heard about recently, but she's kind of killing it in the reaction game. This is Charlotte Dobre, reaction YouTuber who supports James Charles on Twitter. And for someone that does reaction videos, I can see why she's probably never paid attention to the allegations. And I haven't seen her like any posts or comment on anything. So it's really kind of like a 1 out of 10, because it's kind of like, all right, you're a YouTuber, so you've probably heard about this, but I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't, because there are, like I said, there are some people that, you know, kind of brush this under a rug when it comes to the allegations. And I really hope that, you know, this, like, the allegations don't go away, especially the 2 that James admitted to. because I feel like, you know, those people still deserve their justice. Now the last two people, I don't know how to feel about it, because it could be one thing or it could be another thing. So they're kind of like the same, but not really. So we have Andrew, who was Shane Dawson's old cameraman, who works with Garrett Watts now. And then I have Garrett Watts on this list as well. Now, I've seen Andrew, he's following James Charles on Instagram. Not Collen Ballinger on Instagram. However, on Twitter, he's following both Collen Ballinger and James Charles. But on TikTok, not following either. So I'm a little bit surprised, because, you know, I've seen his Twitter, so he's been active, especially last month in August. I think him and Garrett's last post was back in August. So they have been active, and there's no way they didn't like see the news about Collen Ballinger. So the fact that, you know, both of them are still following Collen Ballinger, especially the James Charles thing, I think they're only following them because, you know, with the whole Shane Dawson thing and the live stream thing with Tati and all that stuff, maybe they didn't want to unfollow him and look performative. But I do think, you know, it's kind of giving me an eyebrow raise, because why are you still following, you know, either of them? Because neither of them are really good people. So that's why I had to give it a 5 out of 10, because I haven't seen them interact. But the fact that they have been active online, I can't look away from that. If I'm gonna give the same energy to all these other creators, I have to give the same energy to them. So that's kind of where my head was at with that. And for those that are probably like, oh, why does this matter? You know, why should we care who follows who? There are, like, if you really think about it, the reason why James Charles has not really faced any true consequences is because the people around him kind of just let him like get away with it. Like, I want to say both Collen and James are both surrounded by yes men, because they are so popular. They have like the numbers, they have the money. Like, some people are afraid that if they speak out, then they'll lose their chance. You know what I'm saying? And like, for instance, Joey Graceffa made a lot of collaborations with Collen, and he has nothing to say, even in defense. You know what I'm saying? Like you have nothing to say about your best friend being called out online for very serious allegations. I don't know, man. I don't like how. And I think Joey Graceffa kind of trips me out the most, because like I said, him and Daniel Prada were so ready to go at Gabby Hanna, like go at war, like making an hour-long dedicated video. Or, oh wait, or is it because it doesn't affect them that they don't want to talk about Collen Ballinger? Because let's remember, for those that remember, Joey Graceffa and Daniel Prada kind of only spoke out when Gabby Hanna was slamming the Escape the Night show. Like, I don't know. I just think it's coming off very performative. Like, it was very popular to hate Gabby Hanna. I get it. So that's why it was easier to speak up. But sometimes you just got to do the right thing. Even if this person was, I don't know what their status is now. Even if, you know, even if Collen Ballinger was your best friend, is your best friend, whatever, make a statement saying, you know, hey, I'm talking to her behind the scenes. Everything is not as it seems. Like, say something, because if you say nothing, that is when people start speculating. And I'm already at 24 minutes. Wow. So that's pretty much all I had to say, because like I said, there was a lot more people that I was following that was following both people, and I was just like my brain couldn't take anymore. But if you want to take your own time and look at the people you follow and see if they are following either Collen Ballinger or James Charles, feel free to do so. For those, I didn't really explain in the beginning what was why, you know, how do I say it? I really didn't explain what was going on between Collen Ballinger and James Charles, but at this point, All it takes is a quick Google search to look up and see what's going on. Even recently, because James Charles was releasing his painted palette, apparently he paid to have an article written about him, allegedly, basically kissing his ass. So like the article was basically kissing his ass, and the title was like, James Charles would like to be on cancel please or something, and I thought it was very dumb. Because why are you asking to be uncanceled if you didn't think you were canceled? I'm just saying. So how do you feel about my ratings? Were my ratings good? Were there people that you follow that you're surprised that they're following either of these people right now? Because like I said, there was a lot more that I could have gone about, but I was very surprised. So once again, it is Malcolm. That's me. I just hope you had a great time, trying to stay more consistent. So one take, I did it, guys, in one take, thank goodness. Really don't have much else to say except, I wish you well. I wish you good health. And I will see you again next time.